What is up, everybody? Mark on the mic here. The sun is shining, at least outside of the podcast studio. We're inside right now recording. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see that. But if you want to see real well when the sun is shining, you may want to get yourself some Vortex Eyewear. We recently launched eyewear, at least, at press time, not in the too far distant past, to help me unpack Vortex Eyewear, sunglasses. We've got them on the table right now. I have Mr. Brandon Schroeder. Brandon, you're on the apparel team and Vortex gear team. You've been working on this project for quite some time.
We have.
And I'd say, yes, there's sunglasses, but we have a pretty strong why behind we designed them the way we did.
Yeah, absolutely. To your point, this was a project 2 years in the making. So it was something that we wanted to be diligent about, take our time. We knew what we wanted. Mm-hmm. We wanted to take our time to get it right, which was the big thing. So to your point, these are custom, 100% us from scratch. Some of the things that we really wanted to focus on when we did these was something that was safe to shoot in, but something that still looked casual, like you weren't wearing a shooting pair of sunglasses out around town, going out to dinner. So getting the design right, and then really focus on the optical quality of the lens. We are an optics company. We're known for optics. So let's make sure whatever lens we're putting out is the best of the best lens we can do. So, and that takes time to do.
I like it. Man, sunglasses are a very personal thing when it comes to, I'd say, not just looking through, but the look. Everybody has their personal preference of the ideal sunglass. You guys did a really good job of boiling down the aesthetic to something that I feel is complementary towards a very large swath of the sunglasses wearing public. So that was no easy task.
No, it wasn't. I appreciate that. Thank you, because that takes time. To your point, there's only a couple of things that people wear, maybe a baseball cap, maybe eyewear, that can immediately change how you look. And when it comes to any sort of apparel or accessory like this, it's very subjective to the user. So to find something that kind of covers face shape, color that complements everybody, even down to lens color, it takes time. So you kind of take all these different pieces and aspects and build them together into what you hope will, work for 80, 90% of the demographic.
Yeah. Speaking of compliments, and before we jump into some of the features and specs, because we list them on the website, but there's a little bit more depth to them, a little bit more story. I'm going to read a few reviews.
Great.
I pulled off the old Vortex website. 5 stars, by the way, at press time for both of them. And I just thought these were cool. It's and it didn't take me long to find these. I was like, these are all 3 good ones, but kind of 3 different people in some ways. This person says, I'm incredibly impressed with how light the new sunglasses are and so comfortable. I'm a sunglasses nut, and I cannot lie. These are my new favorite now. A+++++++, all the pluses.
That's great.
Which I think that's cool. That's coming from a person who is into sunglasses.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very complimentary. This next one, I couldn't be happier with my Vortex Banshee sunglasses. Whether I'm repunching my live fire proficiency at the range, practice my words, or running errands around town, these sunglasses fit well and look good. So that goes exactly into what you're saying. Like, hey, we want these to be highly functional for the activities that our customers engage in, purpose-built for the activities our customers engage in, but also you're not going to look out of place when you're around town or running errands or, at your kid's sports event, something like that. This is the last one. I did 3 of these. I'm going to read, I'm going to go back. So outstanding sunglasses was the headline of the first one. These sunglasses are a no-brainer. That was the headline of the next one. This one says, lens clarity on point. I wore these glasses on a trip to the Grand Canyon, and they were exceptional. Very lightweight and comfortable to wear. The clarity of the lens was the most impressive. Didn't detract from the spectacular views. Very important there. Going through all the reviews, comfort, no pinch, and clarity, and looking good were like kind of the common themes. And I guess really that's what you're looking for in a sunglass.
That's awesome. And that's, we built these for the customer. We built these for people to use and want to wear them. Mm-hmm. So it's great when we hear the feedback that the things we focused on are some of the first things that people notice, because that means, A, we put the priorities in the right spot.
Right.
And it's serving the end user in the way they need it to work for them. If it doesn't work for them and it's not comfortable, and it doesn't look good, they're not going to want to wear it at the end of the day. So that's kind of the approach, that it has to be functional. It's got to work good. And I think we're checking all those boxes. It's been great.
Absolutely. One of those boxes, I'm going to get into kind of the features and specs here, Brandon, but is safety.
100%.
You know, our customers are engaging in activities where, whether it's shooting related, possibly fishing related. I wear these fishing all the time, and or any other activity. You're wearing them to protect your eyes from the sun, but also potential errant things that might come your way. So, ballistic-rated materials. Let's talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, that's a big one. So as we kind of mentioned, when we looked at high level what we want these to do, safety was top of the chart. They got to be safe. So we put everything through some pretty rigorous testing. There's some standard industry tests, but then there's also some more elevated tests which we did. So for instance, our lenses. Our lenses are actually tested to the U.S. military standard for impact protection against ballistics, which is MILPREF 32432A. To get really in-depth on it. But it's a pretty intense test that tests the impact resistance. It involves dropping ball bearings and firing with the lenses and all these different kinds of tests. But that was number one. We wanted to make sure that these lenses surpass the ANSI Z87 Plus testing, which is kind of industry standard. So lenses spot on, as well as the material that we use for the frames. So the frame is actually a TR90 NZZ. It's a polymer, basically, but it's super lightweight. Mm-hmm. It's very flexible. So it's impact resistant even in cold weather. So it kind of captures all these characteristics, like it's going to be safe, it's going to be lightweight. It's going to be something you want to wear on your face all day. Because if you're outside, you're outside. You're not outside for 10, 15 minutes. It's your day, it's your kid sporting, it's fishing, it's whatever. Like, you're going to be outside. Mm-hmm. So you want to be able to wear it.
It might be sunny outside. You're wearing your sunglasses, or you're engaged in an activity where you want to have that level of eye protection. But it's not always warm out. No. Like you said, and I've had, various things that I've used in cold weather throughout the years, whether it's, something to buckle something or whatever, and you put a little pressure on it or flex it in cold weather, and boom, it pops, and you've got whatever that item is, it's broken. So that's cool to hear that, you guys tested that for that cold weather performance as well.
Yeah, and it goes both ends of the spectrum. It's got a high melting point, and it's impact resistant still in those colder temperatures. So, whether it's, 30 degrees outside and you're up in a mountain, or, if you at your kid's soccer game, it's going to be safe. And that was the big thing. That was the focus.
Some similar but different shatter-resistant lenses. What's going on there?
Yeah, so we used a polycarbonate lens. So polycarbonate is highly shatter-resistant, and it's also lightweight. So it gave us the optical quality we needed to still pass all the ballistic impact tests. Because, you can use another material like glass, which has really great optical quality.
We use a lot of glass around here.
All the glass. But you don't want that on your eye if you're going to potentially take some fragments.
Okay.
So polycarbonate was the number one choice to go there.
Awesome. What about anti-scratch coatings? I like to take my sunglasses. Well, I don't like to. I just end up doing this. Sometimes they fall. Sometimes, they sit on the, I throw them on the seat of my pickup or something like that. I take them off, do this. Anyway, I'm probably not the friendliest to my sunglasses. Do as I say, not as I do in this situation. What's going on with anti-scratch coatings?
Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that. I think when everybody gets a new pair of sunglasses, they baby them, they take care of them, and within a couple weeks, like you said, you're chucking them in the truck, they're going in a duffel bag, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. So keeping that in mind, long-term play here, we added a scratch-resistant coating to the lens, which basically just is a hardened layer on the outside of the lens that's going to help protect against some of that day-to-day stuff. Mm-hmm. Now, granted, if you drag them behind your truck on a gravel road, they're going to scratch. Yeah. But that day-to-day stuff should really help minimize any damage you'll see to the lens.
Mm-hmm. Well, and they do come, I don't have one here right now, they come with a really sweet case and lens cloth. It's streamlined, lightweight, high-quality case, and so I have been somewhat better about using that.
We appreciate that.
Like, when I you pack it on a trip, or, maybe throw them in your backpack, something like that. That thing is super handy and nice. Yeah. Man, we've covered the lightweight and flexible design. Non-slip bridge and temples.
Yeah. So again,
you want them to stay on your face.
Dude, you're outside. Yeah. And you're outside, and probably most of the time you're outside, you're moving. And you might be getting sweaty if it's hot out. So really focusing on those materials that help, keep the nose pad on your nose. We've got the non-slip grip on the temple tips. So again, something that's going to grip the head a little bit. Not uncomfortable, But again, enough to keep it in place, because if you're active, the last thing you want to do every 5 seconds is pushing up the eyewear.
It might make you look a little smarter. Like
it might. You know, if you kind of look down over the glasses and give a little look. But for the most part, I think you get tired of it.
Okay, bing, bang, boom. Designed to protect you from the sun. How much UV protection these things got?
100% UVA and B protection. I mean, so these are keeping you safe when you're outside.
That's a lot.
It is. It is a lot. But again, if you're outside, you know, hopefully you're living in these. And, you know, your eyes and your skin are just things that you have to protect when you're outdoors. So make the most of it.
Anti-reflective properties. We talk a lot about that in our regular
Absolutely.
optics, or I call them, you know, our sport optics, things like that. Anti-reflective coatings. Is that the same thing going on here or different?
Same thing.
Okay.
So basically you're reducing the amount of light transmission that goes in and out, so it's going to give you better optical clarity. I mean, you want to reduce and cut that glare as much as you can. And AR coatings help with that.
Awesome.
So, absolutely.
And then one of my favorites, and at least for me personally, like this is like, I won't buy a pair of sunglasses unless they're polarized. I do a lot of fishing.
And
I love fishing. Even when I'm not fishing, I want to be able to see the fish in the water potentially.
Yeah.
Polarized. So we'll maybe talk a little bit about just, you know, that and what's going on there.
Yeah, no, for sure. So all of our eyewear is polarized because we felt like that was super important. Anything you do outdoors. And again, it just really cuts that glare. I mean, the visual that I have in my head, and the best way to think about polarization is like a set of midi blinds. You have a set of midi blinds. You basically have molecules on the lens that are arranged in a certain pattern. And when light hits a surface, it scatters. So basically what the polarization does is it takes that scattering light and it almost directs it through the mini blind. So the only thing that you're seeing is the light that comes into the mini blind. So you're cutting out all that scatter.
Okay.
And that's what's going to let you see the fish under the water or whatever it might be that you really use polarization for. So super, super helpful. And again, something that's just necessary to have if you're going to be outside. It helps your eyes, it helps you see, it helps the quality, it helps everything.
Very cool. Very cool. We blasted through a lot of this tech stuff. Before the podcast, you're like, how deep you want to go, buddy?
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go as deep as possible. I know I've got my printouts here.
Yeah.
You have what I would call fancy printouts. That looks handwritten.
I got some
there.
Cliff Notes. That's what I did this morning.
So hopefully I didn't blast through that too fast. Is there anything interesting in there that just for the sake of, I don't know, I like to nerd out on this stuff. Did we miss anything? Or could we go into a little bit more in depth on some of that stuff?
Yeah, you know, a little bit of stuff that, you know, we can touch on is, again, just going back to the frames and the safety testing we did.
Okay.
So we tested the lenses for the Milpref 32432A, but all of our eyewear is also tested for ANSI ZD7 and ANSI ZD7 Plus. So basically that means that you can shoot in these. These are safe to shoot in. All of our eyewear is. We've got two styles right now. We've got the Banshee and we've got the Jackal. So the Jackal is the one that actually has a little bit more curvature to it. So that's the one that's ZD7 Plus. Basically, all that means is it's going to give you a little bit wider range of impact protection.
Okay.
But still, the other ones are safe to shoot in. You'll just notice on the other one that there's more of a wrap. So that's what helps us get the plus rating on that one.
Gotcha.
And then just some of the smaller details. Again, you know, we took 2 years to do this, so we really kind of thought through the design. And one of the things that I think it's taken for granted are the hinges. So we actually did a special hinge on the inside that's molded on the inside. And it's a special material that over time, it's not going to degrade like a metal would. So, you know, sometimes after a couple of years, your sunglass arms get real floppy.
Yeah.
They kind of start going like that.
Yeah.
You won't have that with these. So this is snap open, they stay open, and when they snap shut, they stay shut. And they close in a way that the temple tips won't interact with the frame or the lens, because over time, that can have an impact on the integrity of the frame and the lens as well.
That's something that I've been appreciating, not knowing that I've been appreciating it until
little
you
things.
brought that up right now. I'm like, yeah, I really do like that.
Yeah. You know, and that's one of those things after a couple of years, they just start to get loose and they flop and stuff like that. So, no, that's the big thing though. It's the little details. And that's why we wanted to do this from scratch ourselves, because we could put those little things into it that we know matter to people, and it's going to make it something they want to put on. It's something that they want to, like, you know, take to the range, take to the soccer game, take wherever.
Yeah.
Because it works for them.
I mean, my sunglasses, you know, as a kid, I didn't wear sunglasses a lot. Like, I don't want to wear sunglasses. But I just don't really do anything without my sunglasses. And it doesn't have to be sunny out, man.
No.
Like gray days, whatever days. Like, if I go outside, like, I don't know.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing too, with a good pair of eyewear, even on a cloudy day, it cuts that glare, it cuts that reflection, and it helps you see better, and it's safer. I mean, we all know cloudy days, I mean, some of the worst days get sunburns.
Sure.
The sun is still out when the clouds are out. So again, like it's just that continually protecting your eyes, taking care of them, whether it's the sun or whether it's the range. I mean, whatever might be coming at your face, these are rated to protect you.
I'm going to give a shout out to, before we wrap this, I'm going to give a shout out to the Sun Slayer. So these are kind of both Sun Slayers in different ways.
Yeah.
So this is the Sun Slayer long sleeve hoodie. Brenda, I wear this thing all the time. Like I wear this instead of sunscreen. Like I'll go to, we go to the pool, we go to the beach, whatever. It seems like with sunscreen, and I'm not anti-sunscreen, but like I always miss a spot. And then there's just like always some just blazing red part of my body that's on fire.
Yep.
Also, this allows me to be lazy because I just put it on and then I can just wear that. Like I'll put maybe some sunscreen on my face. I got my sunglasses on, off to go. One thing that you guys built into this shirt, which at first I was like, I don't know, kind of gimmicky. We've got the lens cloth.
We do.
I use this thing all the time. So like we'll be at the pool. Like I said, I'll just swim in it. It's like a swim shirt. I also wear my sunglasses in the pool, so then when I get out of the pool, they're an absolute mess with water spots and stuff like that. Just grab the old cloth out of the Sun Slayer, wipe it off, good to go. So anyway, I think that's pretty cool. What about some other care-related things that a person might want to be thinking about when they're like trying to either clean their sunglasses, things like that?
Sure.
Full disclosure, I am guilty of just using a regular T-shirt.
I think a lot of people are. And that's kind of one of the biggest things. I mean, to have a good quality chamois, whether it's something that, we include the chamois with our eyewear, or it's something that you buy independently.
Or you are wearing it on your shirt.
Or the one that we have in there in the shirt that we have built in some. That's really the big thing, because if you don't have the right cloth, it could scratch the lens accidentally. You want to have a material that's actually going to be beneficial to the lens. So doing anything to clean it like that, getting any dirt, grime off before you store them, you put them away for the day, whatever. It's just that general maintenance. Keep them safe in a case if you can. I know a lot of vehicles have like the eyewear case up top where you can just like pop them up there when you're done. A big thing for taking care of any eyewear is you don't want to leave them directly in the sun. I mean, because over time, regardless of cars get hot, 110, 120 degrees. You leave those on your hot dash for a day or something like that, you're probably going to get some morphine of the lens of the frame.
Interesting.
So that's with anything. I mean, you really want to just make sure you're keeping it safe. And eyewear's an investment. We know that it's not cheap. I've lost my fair share of expensive ones, which always makes it tougher to buy another pair. But anything, it's you put the money into things that are quality that are going to serve you well. So general maintenance, take care of them, treat them safe. They should last you forever. And if they don't, we have the VIP warranty.
I was going to ask, certainly these don't carry the Vortex VIP warranty.
They absolutely do. They have to. They're from us.
Of course they do.
Right. So of course they do. So same VIP warranties we have on our optics.
Very cool. Very cool. Man, I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's there's a lot going on there. They're not your entry point sunglasses. They don't carry the price tag of, that super premium price tag. To me, they fall right in the middle. Very feature rich, performance rich. And the other thing that I think is really cool, when you look at our customer, I think almost sunglasses are kind of something that, in my opinion, everybody needs, right? They're getting them from a company that cares about the same things that you care about. We care about hunting, we care about shooting, we care about hunting and shooting related issues. And so I always like to, whether it's I'm getting something from Vortex or somewhere else, I like to get those items from companies that that share the same values as I do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, kind of in the Vortex way too, it's the value. We want to give the best value to the customer. So it is packing all those feature-rich things that you might see in a $200, $250 pair into a pair of eyewear that is easier for people to get into. Because you shouldn't get less benefits necessarily just because you pay less, especially for eyewear. Let's give you the protection. Even if it's not the $200 pair, it's going to keep your eyes safe from the sun, from ballistic impact. It's going to be comfortable. Give the value.
I like it. Well, cool, Brandon. Man, I appreciate you spending some time with me to talk about these things.
Thank you.
I think on the surface, a lot of people are like, well, they're sunglasses. Yeah, but it goes a little bit deeper than that. So I appreciate you shedding some light on some of the features and benefits here of the Vortex sunglasses. If anybody out there is interested, you can check them out on vortexoptics.com.
Correct.
Or go to your local retailer, and you ought to be able to find them there as well.
That's right. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mark.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody for listening. Get yourself a set of Vortex sunglasses. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.